established. Number one was the United Democratic Party, the Liberty Party, and the Friends of Bronski. Those institutions aspire to two fundamental doctrines. Number one, establishing a nation under the rule of law. That was the first principle that we all stood for. The second thing was the integrity standard. Today, the people who are providing leadership for the party, they have absolutely no regard, no decent regard for integrity. They have no decent regard for even the respect for rule of law. They are organizing convention in contravention of the party constitution. They have come and brought on board somebody with a notoriously tarnished check of history. I mean, these are the things that I am talking about. Because I'm reminding them all of the basic doctrine and the principle of the party. They are finding it offensive. You know, everywhere around the world, when somebody stand up and speak out against ill in society, that person sometimes draws hatred. You draw hatred from the people who want to perpetuate, you know, the wrongness in society. And so this is the challenge we are. This woman here, the cost normally Kanga Lauren lays in.
Oh, and no, let me, no matter what it was, the fact that it was through a kind generosity and he brought him to prominence, I will always give him that credit. Okay, I will always give him that credit, and I hope wheresoever he is, God will continue to stand with him. Okay, and when you ask the question, what I'm missing? Yes, I miss as a friend, as a brother, as a.
You get bring her to go to the maintenance too.
Oh, so the man wanted for you to go Steve on the web post too.
Yeah, he said I'm joining to go to the web maintenance too. To get money into the store, then we'll go take it from there. I said, my man, I only buy for the same lecture.
Then how can the people catch you now?
The people. Before the man called me back, I was on the 18th day more.
The same man now?
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go Steve?
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in the night, around about 8:30, the man called me. He said, oh, my man, the lecture been I'll call you back again.
So that time you go to where?
I go to where?
You live for your working place, you come to the man?
Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go Steve now?
No, I'm not go Steve. I go Steve. I go to yeah. How you question me, man? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, then still questioning me, doubling the question. How made it talk clear?
Okay, let's go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say.
When they call you in the night.
When the man call me in the night, he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the message you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to
the message you want to give you what tea?
Tea. How milk tea? How milk tea?
Oh, milk tea.
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
With bread.
3 pieces of real bread.
With egg inside?
With egg inside, my butter. So when I carry it to the man, say carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the food make you now carry now so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man say thank you. I say okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right car. So one of my friend called me.
And the same man you going to now?
Yeah, the same man.
And the man tell you say he want for you to go steal.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say clean the car. Then they are 2 now.
In a Jeep.
In a Jeep. Then they are 2.
A big Jeep.
Yeah.
Black
DG. 4G. Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside.
No. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people like you can't hear.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you talk in the question, can I say when I move from here, I'll free? Can I say when I move from here, I'll free? You say I want to talk again. I wanted to mean it. Who talk clear to you, but you talk in the question. Hi, not looking. Hi, you looking. Hi, looking. Then you want force another more word again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office. I go explain.
I think you explain to me that you come to get paid. You say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man, you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I will not fair.
Nobody, you getting very. You say asking you too much question. Hey, that's me. Things say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you, if you
Okay, I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
when I give you answer now, then you
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go ahead now. Go to school.
the English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. Sorry now. Sorry.
Say Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take time to
explain. Yeah, okay.
Musa Belete stole 180,000 in tax money from the Liberian government, for which he was dragged to court 2010. 2012, he was announced convicted. This is the man also condemned by FIFA as a fraudster. This is the man who is in the midst of the CPP, and the CPP is now throwing what I call a cordon sanitaire around him. Now, if you have a guy who is a potential contaminant and you have it in your midst, what do you think will happen? He will contaminate everybody. You know, this man is a walking corruption virus. Anything he comes in contact with, anything he touches, he contaminates. The CPP will be contaminated very soon, because my own Liberty Party is now contaminated. People in the Liberty Party who took Pico responsibility today, they are defending him up and down the country. They are defending, even though they know Mr. Belete was condemned by FIFA for 10 years as a fraudster, even though they know Mr. Belete was convicted of tax evasion, fraud, they still defending him because he was able to get them Pico
today on being observed medically. Because, you know, Kessley was shot in the leg when he had exchanged, you know, with our anti-robbery officers. He was shot on his knee. So he's undergoing some medical checkup so that we don't send the court, because usually when we send these suspects to court, their medical conditions matter. If their medical conditions are not so very good, the court do not accept them. So he's undergoing some, you know, medical examination, after which he will be forwarded to court.
Let me ask you, Moses, what is the degree of the injury he sustained at the time?
Well, it's serious. It's serious, very, very serious. And so he was treated by the JFK hospital and discharged because we needed to go ahead with the investigation. So, but his medical condition has not really improved. However,
what has the police gathered so far so good as it stands in terms of the investigation?
Well, his charge sheet is prepared. You know, armed robbery, murder, and you name it, is already prepared. And just a matter of his health condition, he being forwarded to court.
Was he the only person arrested at the time?
Well, he and in that case, he was the only person arrested. But he and other accomplices will also be forwarded to court.
The issue of armed robbery, Moses, becoming a number thing in our country. How prepared is the LMP to combat armed robbers?
No, we are very prepared. The fact that of late we've clamped down on notorious armed robbers. You saw the situation with those armed robbers that were, you know, busted somewhere around the southeast, and four of them were gunned down as a result of some exchange between them and among them and our anti-robbery officers. So it tells you that we are really ready. The only thing we need is timely information so that we are able to respond, you know, to some, you know, armed robbery scenes on a timely manner.
So that means you are carrying out your usual and regular night patrols in the various communities and
it's ongoing. It's ongoing. In the night hours, our anti-robbery team and our patrol teams are moving around, making sure that we are able to respond ably to any situation of threat on the lives of any of our citizens.
Okay, Moses, any other things we'll let you go?
Well, today we have a press conference at headquarters, specifically around 2 o'clock, so you guys are welcome.
Okay, Moses, thank you so much for the update from the LMP.
We'll provide you some level of readiness of the joint security in policing these elections, December elections.
Okay, thank you so much, Moses Carter.
Right, you're welcome.
Moses Carter is police spokesman.
Politics is not stagnant, it's revolving. If I said this in the past, about almost a year ago, and somebody decided to bring the cassette of oath today, it does not have any effect on our desire to endorse Honorable Jeremiah on Wednesday. This Wednesday, we are going to go to Ganta in a number, hundreds of people to endorse Honorable Jeremiah as our candidate for the MDR. That's what I know. Well, you know, if I say, look, I don't want to eat GB right now, and then after an hour, I decide to eat. My stomach is okay. Can I come in the GB and eat? Politics is not stagnant. I just told you. He has been. He's developmentally inclined on the ground. He got his any work all over the places in his district, in other areas. He's doing remarkably well. And so we endorse him. One of the candidates that are running is the only MDR candidate that the CDC government will have to endorse also, because we're collaborating with the propagandists that recorded me secretly when I was speaking my mind at that time and decided to bring it up today. It's up to them. 4 days ago, I was home. I received no visitor. I was home. That's not true. No. I don't know when they did it, but they did it recording secretly. Whatever it is, the secret recording they're taking this, they don't mean anything for me. We got to endorse Jeremiah Cole on Wednesday, and you overwhelmingly defeat all the candidates in them. That's the new strategy they do these days. So it doesn't matter to me. If it was intended to destroy me or what, it doesn't touch me at all. Well, you better trust me, I'm a politician. A politician, politics, I just told you, is not stagnant, it's revolving. And sometimes something can cause you to say something one point in time, and it is resolved, you can change. So it doesn't matter. For me, what I will tell you is we are supporting Honorable Jeremiah Cole, and Jeremiah Cole is up to the task, and you will defeat all other candidates in the country.
Prince Johnson nonsense. I'm not going to respond to that. We'll call for welcome court here, and those who feel guilty will always feel some session. But every time you say welcome court, they say the ugly animal go bring water and baboons start making flour. By the time you say welcome court, Prince Johnson feel that you're talking to him. If he say he did the right thing to protect his people, go say it before the court. At this point, the impunity in this country is emboldening people to even be more corrupt and do things and to hurt this country with no fear that justice will be meted against them. And so at the measure of the name War and Economic Crimes Code, those who feel guilty at heart, even the Bible says, even the wicked flee when nobody running after them. At the measure of the name War Crime Code, Prince Johnson goes into IRA. I think he will run away from session every session, because every time I will remind us that we have to do War Crime Code. We got the culture of impunity must come to an end. No, then they don't understand the issue. The issue is about the culture of impunity, transparency and accountability. Transparency and accountability. We'll talk more.
Hi there, you're with ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
Montserrado, Bome, Cape Mount, Papalu, Mangivi, Boom, and everywhere you go. This is ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
I love ABC Radio.
I like it.
A pleasant good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, good morning from the nation's capital, Monrovia. Welcome to the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 on this Tuesday, the 21st day of March 2023. It's great to be here this morning. My name is Fidel Saydee, and of course, my partner is right by my side this morning, Dennise Nimpson. And together, it promises to be a great show this morning. Lots of issues to talk about regarding the growth and development of our country, Mama Liberia. And so we are committed to doing this. We will do this, and we will see it to the end. This morning, we will speak with the Communications Director at the National Elections Commission, Heron Flomo, to give us an impression of what the registration process is like so far across the country. The five counties, yeah? Five counties right now. 6 counties? Okay, 6 counties that are currently involved with the registration process. Phase 1 of the registration process, by the way. So Steve can still be here with us. We go across the country to speak with our correspondents. And then at 9 o'clock, we play host to Representative Aaron Madison Guion. Yeah, he's from Grandida County. He's our guest at 9 o'clock this morning. Electoral District 1, great. Okay, so our motivational quote this morning says, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And it's Thomas Edison. Again, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And so it means there's one way that can work that's somewhere. I just need to keep trying.
If you fail the other side,
yeah, you try the other side. Yeah. And our proverbs for this morning says, you reap what you sow. Hey, come on here, our society. Sure. They say you will reap what you sow. I mean, you can't plant apple and get lettuce. It's not possible. And so that's it this morning. And let's bring you a bit of traffic tip as brought in by our guys from the field. And so the traffic is building up from the Bourgeois Island end. Remember, it's one way. There's a detour there between Jamaica Road and Freeport. And so the traffic should be up a bit this morning as usual.
And the same with those from the Pinsville Belt.
Okay, the Pinsville Belt specifically.
The Congo Town, ERW Junction to 540.
Okay.
There's a huge traffic at this area.
Okay, that's it. So be aware, there's traffic right there. All right, so be aware. So you are not caught in the traffic. And so if you are headed from Freeport to Central Town, of course, there's a bit of traffic. Dennise between that end, Va Town, Clara Town, and thereabout, somewhere there. There's traffic there as well, so be aware. Okay, so that's it. I'm getting some feedback here, but yeah, so that's it right there. And if you are coming from Somalia Drive, there's not much of traffic there, Dennise, and yeah, there's not much of traffic there. So that's it right here this morning. So our drivers, please be careful. Make sure you stay in your lane. Do not use the third lane. It's not meant for you. and be careful with pedestrians. So to other users of the road, you have to be careful, all right? Because the life you save might be yours or that of someone that you so dearly love. And so that's it this morning. With no time to waste, let's see whether we can go across the country. Dennise, first of all, yesterday was your first news presentation. And I must say kudos to you and your team. That was a good show up. And how was it, by the way, the debut presentation?
The newsroom is always busy, and I like to, like you said, kudos to the team. We have the ball rolling, and our news promises to be the best in Liberia. We have a team, a crack team that is prepared to, inform the Liberian people. And the first day was actually a working section. You had everyone here on deck, ensuring that yes, indeed, we get the news on time. And just on the dot, we're there to bring relevant information to the Liberian people. And that for sure, we are ready and we are up to the task. Like they can follow us every Monday 6 a.m. for the news, and at 12 midday also for our news, and at 7 p.m. for our prime time, the news, the ABC News Today, and it promises to be better with all of the happenings in the country.
Thank you very much to you and your team, Fatu Rogers, and all the guys in the newsroom. Thank you so much for the great show. I mean, great put up on yesterday. We anticipate that ABC News will stand tall amongst all. And
also to you.
Yeah, we are committed to that. This institution must grow, regardless of what others may think. But we have to move. Okay, so let's go across the country right now and talk to our man, firstly from Lofa County. Samuel Bole is from Lofa County. He has to tell us exactly what's going on in Lofa as we speak right now. And yep, so let's get to Samuel Bole in Lofa County and get to know what's obtaining in Lofa County today, this morning. Okay, let's get his other number. Okay, these things do happen in Lofa. Sometimes people are in areas that do not have
hard to reach area in terms of network connectivity.
Yeah. So we can get Samuel right now. I don't know what's is it. Let's get to our man Walcott Kiri in Magidi County. Walcott, they ever prepare Walcott Kiri. He says I am some way he described himself. But he's always on top of the issue.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's get to Walcott Kiri right now this morning from all the way there in Kakata, Magidi County, just right on the shoulders of Mansurado. By the way, our signal is loud and clear in Magidi County, where our man Walcott Kiri is. Let's get to Walcott. Walcott, good morning and welcome to the Morning Breeze. How is Kakata City this morning? Okay, just hold on, Walcott. Just hold on a bit. Hold on a bit. I think I have a problem here. I don't know what it is. Good morning, Walcott. Let's see what we can.
Good morning to you, and good morning to our listeners.
How is the weather in Kakata?
The weather condition is favorable. It's cool and calm, and everything is going on peaceful. And you can see the Kakatonians and the Magidians, they are queuing in their numbers in the various registration centers, at least to get their registration done ahead of the most crucial and talked about elections this year in our country, Liberia.
Give us an impression of how the first day of registration was in Kakata to centers. I mean, centers that you visited.
Well, mostly amongst the centers I visited, we can see most of the Magidians, the Kakatonians, the queue in their numbers yesterday, at least to form part of the process in order for them to get their voter registration card, which according to mostly of them, they said it is their license, at least to put someone in office and to also disconnect someone from being in power or in office. So they said they were in their jubilant mood to go and get the registration done. And as we speak yesterday, they also expressed one or two challenges, especially amongst the next staffers with regards operating the computer system, which was not too favorable to them, causing delay in the process as to the amount of zest they already had to form part of the process. And next staffers were able at least to promptly intervene in solving those problems. As we speak now today, the process is smoothly going on. But the issue about trucking, there are reports from various quarters that mostly all of the aspirants vying for the different positions in the different political districts are bent on the issue about trucking, bringing people from elsewhere to come and register, at least to make decision for a district where they did not belong, which according to them, they are against it and they are not favoring it, and calling on the Liberia National Police and other security apparatus to ensure that the issue about trucking needs to be stopped. So by and large, the process is ongoing and the process is smooth and it's moving on. We're still observing the process in Kakata, but the issue about trucking, especially from district number 3 lawmaker, who the people describe as a lawmaker that have failed them and wants to go into power again this time around, but rather the issue about trucking is coming on from her side heavily, you know, in district number 3, Magidi County, which in fact she even visited the Dominique Hina school yesterday and to register, but her presence created a lot of noise, a lot of confusion in the center yesterday, except the Liberia National Police Guard will intensify their presence, at least to put halt to the noise. But by and large, this morning the process is ongoing.
Okay.
And we are still observing the process yet.
Okay. You're talking about District 3 lawmaker. Who are you referring to?
Specifically, I'm referring to the current lawmaker for District number 3 in the person of Honorable Ellen Ato Rare, who the people describe as a failed lawmaker for the past 5 years, going to 6 years. She has not done anything absolutely good in terms of representing them, but they are only experiencing and receiving bad governance system from her leadership.
Okay.
This time around, mostly the citizens say they want to change her by bringing somebody competent, somebody that can seek the interest of the people in the district. So she's trucking, allegedly trucking people to come and register so that she will gain her seat back.
Walker, is she the only one involved with that?
Well, she's not the only lawmaker that is involved in that. It is common amongst all of them. But paramount amongst all, you know, being a female lawmaker who the people describe as a female lawmaker, especially within the fire.
But what the female has to do with that?
Yeah, so it's a female lawmaker, and as a result of her poor leadership being given to the people over the past time, and she want to go back into power, but you know, she doesn't have much might, but rather they said she's using the trucking methodology at least to gain her seat back. But the eyes are focusing on her, and yesterday her presence in fact created a lot of noise at the Dominican area, which is part of district number 3, and until now, accusing fingers are pointing on her of her bad leadership and trucking her behavior.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Walcott. Again, it's always nice speaking with you, Kakatonians.
Yeah, it is my pleasure at least to give the people from Magidi County a very good news. I am Walcott Kiri, ABC Radio County correspondent.
Thank you so much, Walcott Kiri. I like the man. The Kakatonians and the Magidians. And I like the verve and the tenacity with which the man call the people. Yeah, but he said, I know Dennise on this female solidarity thing. The message, that woman, what she, what she trucking? The message, what she trucking? Being a woman, you ain't supposed to truck.
They want to say a male, right? It's always because she's a female.
Yeah, female ain't supposed to truck. The message, female ain't supposed to truck. But yeah, that's it there. The process is relatively calm in Magidi County, and I hope that's the same situation in Grand Bassa. Let's talk to our man Prince Wamplu. Prince like us to call his Bassa name. Prince, good morning.
Good morning, Fidel. Good morning to our many listeners.
What's that name again?
Yukonje.
Yukonje. Yeah, Yukonje. How is the weather in Buchanan City?
But this morning we have a cool weather. There's no major sunshine, there's a little breeze in the air. So yes, I'll have a cool weather this morning.
Okay. And the registration process, how is it like?
So thank you. The registration process is ongoing, but there are several discussions in the various communities. Some of the young children are still looking at the ages 2004, 2003, 2005. They are still deciding as to whether they can go, and we have community people as well competing that some of the kids that are going to register are now eating. Others are saying that they are eating, their parents told them they are eating. Yeah, that's for the young people, especially those that are 18, 19, 17. Some want to force away, but people are denying them. As it relates to the chalking process is being alleged as well, that people are starting to chalk people to Buchanan District for registration process. Representative Hopeful took out there a lamb on that aspect as well. But most of the lawmakers, Fidel, yesterday, took to the social media, took to the radio station, encouraging the people of Grand Bassa County to turn out and register to vote. Because in order to get the needed result, you need October 10th, you have to register and be eligible to vote. Yeah, so there are more calls from political leaders in Grand Bassa County that people should turn out to vote.
So in terms of in terms of the preparedness of NEC to carry on a rigorous process, how have you seen it so far? Are they at the centers on time? Do they have the logistics to carry on a smooth registration? I mean, all of those things from the NEC. Do you see a degree of preparedness from them from that end?
Well, there are few centers. There are few centers that we can speak to that and show that they are prepared. The administrative building, the St. John School. We have our own public school. These are schools that people are going there, areas that people are going there, in time, especially the NC staff. They are going there in time and making sure that the process starts exactly the period stipulated. But in New Buchanan community, just the outskirts of Buchanan City, yesterday I spoke to several members of the area, and they are complaining that there is no center for them. There is no center for them. They have pretty close to 600 to 700 units there. So they have no food center. They had moved to own your own community, form a Lanco camp. They had moved there to register. So they had called them National Elections Commission. When I went to the NEC office yesterday, there was no one who officially speak to me, and everyone basically said to the press that we should make our way there today, but they're going to make sure that all of these centers where the people difficult to reach, they're going to see how they can adjust that. But for now, the New Buchanan community, they are complaining that there's no center near them. They had one pretty close to 30, 45 minute distance to register.
Thank you so much, Yukon J. Again, it's nice having you on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, Fidel.
Okay, he's Prince Yukon J. Wamplu from Grand Bassa County. He says, well, the process is relatively smooth and everything is going on right, except for a few centers that had to be moved, and the people are actually going by what has been asked for by the National Elections Commission. So which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, our people going by the process, and I'm very happy about that. And in areas where we have these little issues, I hope the National Elections Commission can resolve them. To make sure that the process is on and it's smooth, and we don't have any major issues that will lead to the registration process being impeded, because it is a very important part of the electioneering process where people get registered. The only way you can vote is when you are registered. So we're encouraging our people to move out there. You can move to the center you want to register at now. But what we've actually spoken against is this whole thing about voter trucking. It's not
Which is
good.
bad, which is
It's not.
not
It's
good.
very, very bad.
Yeah.
Very, very bad. And we expect our people, I mean, to
To do
operate.
the needful,
Yeah, the
you know,
needful, the
to
needful.
exist.
Yeah, we want them to
With
do
a
the needful.
trucking.
So let me see whether I can get. I'm trying to get the other correspondence, but let me get Henry Flomo this morning from the National Elections Commission. We need to hear from them. I spoke with him yesterday, and he assured me that we can have a conversation on the issue. And he was very blunt on some of the challenges that the NEC has, and how the National Elections Commission was working to ensure that these challenges were dealt with, and that the commission is on the smooth footing, and they are in discussion with owners of buildings. Though there have been some sort of rejection from these owners, stopping workers from coming in, and people who own school buildings as well.
Yeah.
They were complaining that schools are in section, and that their facilities cannot be used now. So I mean, they are having different conversations with these people, but I hope we can talk to him. But let's speak with our man Frederick Coleman there from Grand Crew County, the coastal city of Barclayville. Good morning, Frederick. It's nice having you on the Morning Breeze.
Thank you, and good morning to citizens of Liberia.
Tell us exactly what's happening in Grand Crew. How is the weather like, first of all?
Yeah, in Grand Crew, the weather condition is fine. Everything is going well this morning. We just woke up, and we are trying to work on things to making sure that our people have the necessary information.
Now, is Radio Athena still relaying our program?
Yeah, sometimes Radio Athena can relay but for now they're not relaying because they're on the news currently.
Okay, good. So, okay, tell us what's happening in Grand Crew. What is the latest news there?
Well, so in Grand Crew County, the superintendent for the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation from the Ministry of Justice assigned in the county, Mr. Moses Allison, cries over the lack of prison in the county, and he's calling on the Liberian government to construct a prison facility for their inmates in order to stabilize security-related issues in Grand Crew.
Is it that this facility has been non-existent, or it has gotten damaged and there's no one to repair it?
It has been non-existent. There have not been prison facility in Grand Crew County since her establishment in 1984. And this has been causing serious health hazard for inmates in the county, which of course is a person goes against the law, and they are brought to the police station. They will have to be sent to court after some hours, but the investigation is conducted. You understand that there is no room for prisoner. So this causes the Bureau of Corrections, the superintendent of the offenders in the county, you know, to release that person, and they just go free without doing anything. So it is a lack of prison facility that he's calling on the government of Liberia to construct prison facility that the security sector of Grand Crew County will be able to be set, and not to undermine the justice system of the county. And the correction officer in the county narrated that the lack of prison compound is creating serious health hazard, like I said, pre-trial detainees and convicted criminals. However, his office has since purchased a huge portion of land, just imagine, along the Sugarcane and Barclayville Highway for construction of the prison facility in the county, but government is yet to respond. According to him, the office of the president, Dr. George Manawia, has been duly informed about the absence of prison facility in the county, the home of the president, Senate Pro Tem, and the deputy speaker, Councilor Fred Kofa.
Okay, so before you go ahead, Frederick, pre-trial detainees and those who've been convicted, where are they kept?
Those people, if they are convicted, you understand that the correction of people in Grand Crew, they have asked a single room detention sector from the Liberia National Police, which is being used today. And if those pre-trial detainees come and you understand that the room is filled with inmates, those people are being released, or they are placed in the conference room of the Liberia National Police.
Have you been able to gather the number of inmates?
For the number of inmates, before there were about 10 inmates that were out. 10 inmates were out. They were just at the police station there, at the conference room of the Liberia National Police. But currently, some of them has been released because there is no place that they can be. Before, when Maryland County had a detention sector, their prison compound, prisoners used to be sent from Grand Creek County to Maryland to help smooth the justice system of the county. But currently, it is a challenge that undermines the justice sector of the county, where even the solicitor of the county calls on the government to intervene to making sure that prison facility is constructed in Grand Creek County.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Frederick. Thank you for getting in contact with us, and we hope to hear from you tomorrow.
You are welcome.
Okay, Frederick Kumende in Grand Creek County. This is worrisome, Dennise.
That's a serious concern, Fidel. A very serious concern that needs to be addressed by the justice system and those in charge, government as well, to ensure that there can be facility to house or host inmates. Because you can have people who have been convicted and they are all around, in the county. That alone cannot serve as deterrence to who be perpetrators. So the need to ensure that those areas are constructed to have inmates, contained within an environment that is feasible enough to prevent them from those who they carry on those harmful, practices against.
That's so bad. And imagine once someone wants to commit a crime, all he does is just go to spa at the police headquarters. Let me go see what they play for. And then show a face. But then they play for and say, let me go commit a crime.
Yeah.
Let me go commit. You get nowhere to carry. You have to release him. All right. You will have to. But this is actually worrisome. And I hope the authorities from the county can make an immediate intervention, because I believe that the justice system of the justice system must be robust enough to deal with these issues that are at hand. Because if we leave the place vulnerable as it is now in Grand Creek, it means anybody can just commit crime and run away, and you will not even know the person. So it is becoming worrisome.
The need to work on it is important, because even at the central prison here in Monrovia, there's this complaint of overcrowdedness at the prison, where they are thinking how now to decongest the place. And with that, it's a serious concern that needs attention, and government needs not to play this low. They need to ensure that those areas are constructed to have the inmates contained in a cell.
And what is even more concerning is the fact that 3 of our country's top officials are from Grand Creek.
Grand Creek County. And that place, you see the road leading to that. I hope they are working on it, because the last time I ever visited Grand Creek County, it was such a horrible, in terms of the road, a bad condition. You see the road, or like farm road, where you have people, it was so disheartening to see that our people are living in those areas, and there's no proper road network, which is bad. We hope that they can work on that.
Okay, let's take our man Samuel Boley there from Lofa County. Samuel, good morning and welcome to the Morning Breeze.
Yeah, good morning. Let me say good morning to our entire listeners.
Where exactly are you speaking to us from? Vanjama or Kolahun?
I'm currently posted in Kolahun.
Kolahun, that's good. How's the weather in Kolahun this morning?
Well, the weather is okay and everything is moving cordially. Only Haringi Community Radio lost one of their staff this morning.
Oh, I saw the public service announcement and appeal for help. I guess is the guy who lost his life.
Yes, he was the guy that lost his life.
Okay, we are sincerely sorry to the people of Nimba County and the media community. I mean Lofa and the media community in Lofa, and we're so sorry about that. But besides that, what else can we speak about from Lofa currently?
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Recently have been some holding and putting on the issue of the superintendent, when the county superintendent, Honorable William Tamakamba, expressed disappointment in the Lofa caucus. A matter of fact, he said, well, during the construction of the around the fee. When the counterment was almost in the gap, they was able to contact the contractor, and they told the contractor to do it 75% before the reimbursing, and the guy did 100%. It becomes serious holding and putting, even at a crucial time for the game between Lofa and that of Nimba. The guy said seriously the people will not enter if they not get the money. And based on that, the chairman for the steering committee of Beaumont started credited 20,000 United States dollars, and it was given to the man, and the balance is around 70,000. But according to the superintendent, he said the money that was intended to buy the yellow machine for the road, which was mentioned earlier that it should be for the maintenance of the road. He wrote to the caucus, appealing to them that 70% of that money should be taken away to give this man money because the man credited him. And according to him, he said the caucus has the now only councillor Joseph Atojara who signed, and Humble Judy Fatoma, we are both of them signed, but the rest of the caucus, including the caucus chairman, have denied to sign the document. And in an effort to get to the caucus, the chairman disclosed that, well, a matter of fact, if you look at the what the money was intended for, the money was intended for the yellow machine. And taking the yellow machine now, leaving the yellow machine out to divert the money for the funding of the fee, which is not cardinal. He said, well, the fee is cardinal, but at a crucial time, the rainy season we are getting in, if nothing, no major issue is done on that road, seriously, low are going to be seriously cut out.
So the
because,
contention, sorry, Samuel, I have to interrupt you. So the contention is that county authorities are not paying attention to the road. Instead, their attention is drifted towards reimbursing those that they took money from for the county meet.
Well, this is why the majority of the people are saying now, but others are saying, well, a matter of fact, the rule, it is okay, but somebody use their personal money, and the person even saying that they are going to carry in the court. Perhaps it is good for the road to be focused on to buy the yellow machine, but it is good to address this main issue. Then they will be looking at the next money they're going to be sending. Next county setting will be happening now. They will follow the money for the yellow machine, where the caucus are saying no, they're not going to sign it, and others are saying the caucus should not sign it because matter of fact, the yellow machine is the paramount then construction. Others are saying the construction, in fact, initially it was mentioned that it was from the coordination for democratic change. It was the president even coaching mentioned that they're going to be a mini stadium. Now, if it is constructed, they are talking about it's on the credit basis. They are saying they are confused on the issue.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel Bole there from Lofa County. There's a bit of noise in the caucus and the leadership of the county regarding the usage of monies meant for the county, and one party is contending that there is a need for them to focus on the road in the on roads in the county by purchasing a yellow machine. Another group is saying, well, we need to fix the stadium. I mean, during the course of the county meet, we credit that money from people and we got to pay it back. So I mean, that's it right there. But let's take this short breather, Dennise. When we come back, we go straight into our first discussion point, which is the coalition. What is that? CPP.
CPP.
Yeah. Okay. The collaborating political parties. Good.
Yeah.
They're making some claims, and we will enter those claims regarding the conduct of the registration exercise, the biometric registration, voter registration exercise. They believe that it's unconstitutional, and that the NEC should allow the legislature to have done the demarcation, setting up the threshold before the registration process begins. But let's take a brief up and be right back.
I like it.
Okay, welcome back to the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And yes, let's get to our first discussion point this morning, Dennise.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that as we approach the election process, like we indicated on yesterday, the key to having a successful elections is by the key adherence to the rule of law, the Constitution, protecting every process that leads to election, and dotting our I's and crossing our T's to make sure that every step of the way is constitutional.
Sure.
Now, the collaborating political parties has raised a serious concern that must be listened to by the government. And even though the process has begun, the biometric registration process has begun, but we believe that every part of our constitution must be followed, regardless of the delays it will cause. Because we have this tendency, and one of the reasons why we are more emboldened to violate our laws is that whenever these violations are done, there is no repercussion for those who carry on these violations. And this has become a pattern in our country, so much so that people do not feel they don't feel any bad when they violate the laws. They feel very confident that they are violating the laws, and this has got to stop. And it must stop somewhere, especially when we are going to a crucial process. The figures that was the figures that were gathered from the census, the 2023 census, those figures 2022, sorry, those figures have been questioned by a segment of the population. Now, I am not so concerned about the way these figures have been questioned, because they've not provided any degree of evidence to back why they believe that this process is flawed. Now, I am not saying that there is not a possibility for the process to be flawed, but for me to agree that this process is flawed, I must be armed with pieces of evidence that informed my decision. Now, the opposition community has not done that, which I believe is still an issue, because they've got an issue with it. But these figures have come up, and they are a bit more, what we'll say, different from what we saw in 2008. That was when the last census was conducted, 2008.
Yeah.
It has been long years now. If someone was born in 2008, now, how old are they, Dennise? 2008, we are in 2022.
2008 are about 20
in thereabout. So a lot has changed between this period. A lot has changed. So if a lot has changed, it means figures and patterns of life will change. I know these things are not automatic, but the figures released by by Legis, they said we have like 5.2 million people. Dennise, they said we have 5.2 million people.
Yeah, so that's around 14 years.
Yeah, 14 years, right?
Yeah.
Good. Dennise was still doing her calculation because she won't be sure. So we have like 5.2 million people in Liberia, according to the census report. They call it preliminary report. They say it's still preliminary.
Yeah.
Okay. And in that number, we have a little over 2 million people that are considered as what?
Addition.
As female.
Yeah.
I mean, as male.
Yeah.
Over 2 million people, which constitute about 50.4%, 0.4%, according to Legis.
Yeah.
Now, they say over 2 million people that female. Let's be exact.
Yeah.
2,604,171 persons. They say that female, and they constitute 49.6%.
Yeah.
Now, the contention of the opposition community is that we got more females than males. So why legislators say we got more males than females? So this is actually I don't know how serious it is, but it is an issue. They've got to provide some pieces of evidence to us in the media that these are the facts that we are bringing to the table. Legis did not do a good job because of this and that reason. There are questions that are lingering on the condemnation as opposed to the answers that we've gathered so far. So again, the opposition community has to expand on that.
So I think with that, in
Mhm.
terms of legislation coming up, to say all of that, and the opposition, it's all due to this delay that we have in the process, right? At this point in time, we only have the preliminary report, right? Which is 5.2 million. And if our legislators would have come up with the total or the complete report, now you can have, the opposition or others coming in with their own problem that they have with the report, to say, no, you said this is happening, and this should be this, and they will give their own claims and thing that they observe about the process. But as it is now,
It's still preliminary.
yeah, it's still preliminary. So there has not been the time in which, because when the censor report is given, you have to have a time, at least a period, in which people can come and make their claims and say, no, this is the problem we have, and you can look into it whether it is right or it is now to have, a complete a number that will be given to the population or to the public. But at this point in time, with the delay, this is where we are. This is where we are, and this is what is causing the problem now. And now the CPP is coming up to say that this process is being conducted undemocratically and in terms of unconstitutionally, unconstitutionally, because you don't have those districts being given the actual number that we have within those districts.
Now, so it is important to also state that even if if Legis gives a final report, the figures in these in the preliminary report will not change. There are just some additions that need to be made. Yeah, I mean, there are different demographic surveys that were done. So those reports also have to come out, and I think those are the reports that have been delayed. So as it is now, Legis cannot submit the report to the to the legislature, which is delaying the process of demarcation, because the legislature has to set a threshold which will be used as a tool for demarcation. That has not been done. So the CPP is contending that you cannot do the biometric voter registration in the absence of a threshold being set and the demarcation of constituencies. So at this stage, you will not know where Dennise is contesting, whether it's in District 1, whether it's in District 2, except, and I'll say this, except the legislature is working in concert with the National Elections Commission to say that we are not going by the census report of 2022. We will maintain the current demarcation, the current constituencies. We are not setting new threshold. If that is the case, then we say, yes, NEC is right to go ahead. But again, Dennise, it will be a violation of our constitution. Just read Article 80C of our constitution, Dennise.
Article 80C of the Constitution says every Liberian citizen shall have the right to be registered in the constituency and to vote in public elections only in the constituency where are registered.
So it means that I cannot vote in district number 2, Montserrat County, if I am registered in district number 1.
Yeah.
It means I cannot register in district. I cannot vote in district number 17 when I'm registered in district number 16.
Yeah.
So this goes to say that in order for us to be fit for elections, to qualify for elections, we must ensure that we are in the district in which we are registered. At this stage, because the legislature has not done any demarcation, as far as we are concerned, we do not know the district we are registered in. But why is it important for the demarcation process to go on? Dennise, finally read Article D of the same, Section D of the same Article 80 of the Constitution.
According to Article D of the Constitution, the same
Article 80,
Article
Section D, yeah.
Shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with population growth and movements as revealed by our national census, provided that the total number of electoral constituencies in the Republic shall not exceed 100.
So we've just conducted a census and numbers have been revealed to us, which far exceed the previous population that we had. We had around previously 4 million people were there, but now we've gone to 5.2 million, which means there is a growth in the size of our population, which demands that Article 80D be followed by the National Elections Commission, which is Article 80D, by the way, is giving powers to the legislature to set a threshold and do demarcation according to that threshold. But the caveat there is that you must not exceed 100 electoral district or electoral constituencies, so to speak, word for word. All right. So in this case, the legislature, now that a census has been conducted, the report has to be submitted to the legislature by legis. Has that been done? No. It has not been done. The legislature now cannot, it has no tool to work with to set the threshold. So it means if we can set the threshold, it means we don't know the number of constituencies as far as the new population is concerned.
And all of these things, Fidel, results from a failed foundation.
Exactly. The census.
Yes. If you don't have a foundation that is solid, at the end of the day, you tend to get nothing out of that. You have a census that was conducted with controversy.
Exactly.
You have people who were heading the census who were novice to the process. They created all of confusion around the place in terms of this census. And now with the census being delayed at this point in time, you will have all of these coming into play. And the lack of coordination with various agencies that are involved, has this situation where we are
today.
And I tell you, like on yesterday, I received some calls. There were people who asking, Dennise, we are confused, and like they are saying that they are going to share the district, and we don't know where to go register because we don't want to go register at this center. And at the end of the day, we realize that there has been this demarcation and we don't fall in our district for which we want to register. So you see, this is due to lack of information. People are not coming up to say what is it that the people have to follow. And like you said, if we should go by the over 4 million we had previously, there should be that made known to the public. And if you will use the 5.2 million preliminary reports from the just ended census, it should be communicated. You cannot operate in isolation where people don't know how they are going about. That creates speculations in the public.
Exactly. And that is what we have at hand. So like you said, from the get-go of the entire census process, there's been this controversy about who e-money, who not e-money. It brought the integrity of the entire census process into questioning. Now, after that rigmarole, results are out, and the opposition community is siding by the reports that came out of the census. And I mean, these things will continue. And I always like to be on point, Dennise. Mark my word today, there will be no new demarcation in as a result of this census report. Get this today. There will be no new demarcation. All of the constituencies that are existent will remain as they are. We will go to these elections with the same electoral districts that are existing.
Exactly.
The legislature will do nothing to do any demarcation because the census report has not been submitted to them. Besides, the voter registration exercise is already ongoing. The legislature knows that when the registration is still ongoing, when demarcation is done, a lot of people will be disenfranchised. And I don't believe they want people to start complaining. It will create crisis. So they will prefer violating the Constitution in a bid to ensure that peace reigns in Liberia than to start demarcation when a lot of people would be disenfranchised and they will go into a civil disobedience. And this, I believe, is a butchering of our Constitution, and we have started on a bad footing. We are setting a wrong precedence that might haunt us tomorrow as a country, because people will look at these lapses that are created by the current administration, all right? Those who are governing the state and those who are heads of different ministries and agencies who are responsible for doing the right thing. We see these wanton violations. This could serve as a precedent for people who are coming in. And this is not good for our country.
And I see something like what I call a post census perhaps in a year from now, because
so let's do new census.
Yes, that people will go to verify all of these numbers
Again,
and what that
it will also be a violation because census should be conducted after 10 years.
Which of course, but if you don't have things right, people want to say perhaps we could do that to get things straight, because I tell you, there's a 5.2 million preliminary result that is being portrayed or announced in a few years, let's say 10 years ago. There was some projection around here that the population has increased to 5 million, and now we see that 14 years now, and all of these things. So there are too many speculations and too many things to think about as it relates to all of these. But we hope that we can do things constitutionally, and the idea of doing things unconstitutionally is wrong. Because if you have a serious system and you have a serious country that people look up to, they want to see people abide by the Constitution, people working in line with the Constitution, because it is your guide. You cannot have a guide and you cannot go by it.
You abandon the guide.
Yes, and you say we just do anything anyhow. No, we cannot continue like that as a country. And this is why Liberia is where it is in terms of development, because people tend to do things differently and want to do it their own way.
They want to do it their own way. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100. It is a bad thing to say, but it is a good thing to say as well, because as we are proceeding, we might run into constitutional crisis. We might run into constitutional crisis. As bad as the news sounds, it is important that we say it, because look, every country, the countries that we are so jealous of and we are proud to travel to, those countries live on the rule of law.
System.
Adherence to the rule of law is key to any functioning democracy. And Liberia cannot sidestep or sidekick the desire for us to live in the confines of the law. Let's take this person. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning. Yes, you're live.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I mean, there's a problem here. I hope these guys can come right in here and resolve it quickly. I'm hearing something else playing in the back. All right, and all right, but call the alternative number, Dennise. Let them, or call 0555 105 100 0555 105 100. We must find a permanent solution to this issue with the telephone. 0555 105 100, and Dennise call an alternative line. Let our people call through that line.
Okay. 0770 411 243.
Again.
0770 411 243.
0770 411 243.
Yeah.
All right, call that number and let's hear you this morning. The CPP has alarmed over what it believes is a violation of our constitution, which we also agree with, that we cannot have a process. You just you're going left, you're going right, you're confused, you don't know what you're doing, except an explanation can be provided to us. Maybe something that we don't know as yet, but clearly this is actually a violation. We have a problem with this line. I don't know what's going on. Good morning. The calls are coming in, but the feedback is bad. All right, 0555 105 100 0555 105 100. Call that number and call the alternative number
0770 411 243. Let's hear you on the morning breeze this morning on ABC Radio.
This is where we blow the breeze across the country. We do not have sacred cows. We see it just as we see it. This is a contribution to national growth. And as members of the Fourth Estate, we have a responsibility to our country. Just as you who work in government do. Just as you who go about your normal businesses, contributing your tax to Liberia's development. That is the same role we have to play here. And so we do it with our fear of favor. And Dennise, according to the census report, we have 101 male.
1 million.
Yeah, 101 male to every 100 females. So unlike in the past where people used to say, I think there's a call in there. Okay. So like people used to say, we have 5 women to 1 man. That is not the case now. I mean, that is not the case now. You not get 5 women to call the other line 0555-105-100. I'm not answering this one here because it has a problem. So I just have to turn it off. All right. Call the other number 0555-105-100. 0555-105-100. Call that number and get through. And then the alternative line, Dennise.
07704111243.
Okay, those are the numbers. So we can't shortchange the interest of our country for anything. The reality is we must safeguard this democracy. The same way the policeman responsible to ensure that he protects lives and property is the same way we as members of the Fourth Estate have a responsibility to ensure that our country has a smooth and functioning democracy.
Sure.
And the way to do that is by ensuring that those who are in the governance of the country are able to adhere to the rule of law. And this one here, clearly, our men are stepping and making a mistake. There is a need to correct that. And I hope they realize that this country has to move forward. And if it's to move forward, we must all adhere to the rule of law. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Oh, this line is okay. So I think, yeah, it works that way. Stella, just come in here. Let's resolve this situation quickly. We've just found a solution which I believe will help us a lot. 0555-105-100, 0555-105-100 are the numbers to call. Dennise on yesterday, still in town with the legislature, the Civil Servants Association, they calling on the president to veto that pension bill for legislators. They say people who working in the legislature, they can say they pension them or they retire them when they go to election and get defeated. They're not pensioned there. No. It means you didn't do your work good, and that's why the people say they don't want you. So there should be nothing in the budget for people like that. People who not work good, who the people say they don't want again, then they say, no, that retirement benefit we need our retirement. But clearly, Dennise, let's look at it logically. Why would someone who has been rejected, goes to an election, rejected by his people, still claim pension benefit? On what grounds? Why are they demanding?
I don't know, and I see that has been absorbed. That some lawmakers will just put themselves together and want to demand something that is meaningless. You as a lawmaker, you had a job for 6 years. 6 years job. You had that to do whatsoever you wanted to, right? In terms of investing, you have the time to invest, the time to ensure that you have something as a retirement benefit. In terms of the work you do, you have salary that comes to you. Your salary can be used to develop whatsoever project you want to develop. You can, establish businesses and other things to depend on when you are out of the legislature. But you left all of that. You amass wealth for yourself. You misuse that. I call that misusing. You misuse that because if anyone who doesn't misuse opportunity will not come up to demand such, benefit. You have been voted out. The people say they no longer, need you as perhaps representative, or you are served your term, you retire, and now you want that Liberians should pay you out of their own resources. This is sad. This is sad for our country, and we cannot continue to live that. We have a country that is underdeveloped. The issue of safe drinking water is lacking. The issue of electricity is lacking. There are a lot of issues that we lack in the country. Even as it relates to good health care, we don't have it in Liberia. People want to get good health care. They go out of the country to get good health care because it is lacking in Liberia. Quality education. These are things we are lacking. Even the issue of agriculture. And now you have some group of people who call themselves lawmakers at some point in time, they have been out of power, and now they want to come impose on the Liberian people that they should pay them after they have been out of office. 6 years. This is why everyone.
Some instances, 12 years.
12 years, yes, if you seek re-election. You know, some go more than even 12. You know, some go for term and all of those things, get elected for the third time and they serve. So when you say all of those years that you stay in power, now you are no longer there should be some benefits to you. This is why our country is like this, because people only think about themselves. They don't think about the ordinary people. They don't think about those who are in those hard to reach area, who lack the basic social services that could be given to them, but they are after what they can gain. And this is sad for our country, Fidel.
It's very sad. It's very sad. And what is, I mean, our people have been crying. They've been crying. Oh, too much money in the budget for lawmakers. I mean, they're taking much of what is being collected in revenue. They're giving it to themselves. And we have people in public health facilities. There are no medicine. You go to public schools, no chairs for people to sit on. And you go to different communities. There are no social benefits for citizens. And these lawmakers get paid in all of what is being collected from our revenue. And these same lawmakers are crying we should pension them, we should get them pension benefit. So the Civil Servants Association is saying, no, we can't do that. We can't just do that. We just can't do that. We must ensure that those who are working in the legislature, who've been booted out by the electorate, should not take anything called benefit from the Liberian people. They are saying that they will speak with other stakeholders so that these legislators that are clamoring for such privileges to be given to them, that is not done. And they are right. There are lots of people who work in the civil service who make little or nothing. That, I mean, exactly what they make in that service, the obligations that they have at hand, at their various homes. These are the people that we should focus on. It's okay that, I mean, it's easy for members of the legislature to call and cry for this and that. But it is important that those who are civil servants, those who make, I mean, a little less than $200, $150, I mean, those people are the ones who should be taken care of. We are going to an electionary process. And I thought that there would have been a little bit of change in attitude of the way our lawmakers conduct themselves. I know this has been, I mean, around. But the fact that they even want to pass it, that they want, I can hear people. I mean, this is a slap in the face of ordinary Liberians. And I understand that the legislature wants to give a befitting retirement package to their citizens, but that, I mean, to their colleagues, but that is not the best way to do that. That is not the best way to do that. We must begin now to start a process that looks at the well-being of ordinary citizens, as opposed to us thinking about the legislature. It can go. Instead of thinking about the legislature or members of the legislature thinking about themselves. A man works for a government entity for 10 years, for 15 years as a civil servant. That person does not have a house to show. No, it's not that these people do not have intention to better their lives. It's because the little that they make cannot offset the responsibilities that they have. And I thought that would be the focus of members of the legislature. Now, if you are in governance and your service to nation is not intended to grow the ordinary people, then there is a problem. There is a serious problem. If what you do as is a public servant does not in any way improve the lives of your people, then there is a problem. And I believe that problem must be solved now. Try that whole pension thing they put in front of you away, Mr. President. You are going to an election and you are challenged. There are lots of odds against you. You cannot make an instrument that does not favor the Liberian people as a way of giving back to legislators that have not performed in the interest of their people. You cannot. So it is a challenge to the president now. Mr. President, your people are not in favor of what the legislature has sent to you. They want you to veto it. They want you to veto it.
That's what I was about to say. The president that has the power to just veto. No need to talk much. You just veto that whole thing, because I don't see that as being sincere to the Liberian people. That's not being sincere. You cannot have a group of lawmakers passing with such or law and wanting that to take effect. I didn't thinking about the effect of that. What would that mean to the country? You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot think only about yourself. Think about the people who elected you. Think about the country that you serve. You cannot have yourself. Everything is just about you. You went to power 6 years. You got a good salary, lucrative salary. You enjoyed yourself, and later on, because you are retired or perhaps your people say, retire with a man, the man is not doing what he should be doing, and you come back, you say, we need some benefit, we are lawmakers. Why? We don't need that in Liberia. We are paying you more than what we should pay you as a country that is struggling. A country that is struggling to be developed, our lawmakers are paid hugely. So you cannot have this time coming back to tell us that we should be paying you because you are no longer in power. That's not being sincere to the Liberian people for which you said you served.
Exactly. And that's why we as citizens must galvanize our support behind those individuals who are fronting for the ordinary people. So the Civil Servants Association has our support. All right, we cannot allow this to happen in our country. The president must not sign to this instrument. He must veto it. The people who would weigh down the economic ladder that they don't want, we're supposed to be thinking about. Exactly. People can get retired. They have to run from one office to another, one office to another. Some people have died going from one place to another because they can't get their pension benefit. They've been crying. They can't get a pension benefit, but yet we want people who represent us. But you not do well because that will be their reliance. I'm supposed to perform. Even when you vote me, I'll just go relax. I'll get my retirement benefit.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
And you want us to sit here and allow that to happen, Mr. President? Do not sign that thing that those people brought before you.
Yeah.
Do not sign it.
I think that's perhaps that's a trap there, to
put the president against the people.
Yeah.
And so the people can say, oh, the president joined the lawmakers. Some lawmakers are already dragging to say the president joined the lawmakers and he's working against the interests of the Liberian people. Yeah. See the kind of law he now signed. We're not voting him again. I mean, that would be the conversation around.
Yeah, you serve 6 years and you cannot prepare for your retirement benefit, but you want to have that on the Liberian people, which is not sincere.
And nobody come and bring a whole logical argument to me about this, that. Look, the reality is you want money from the Liberian people because they didn't vote you. You want to see it as your retirement benefit, and there's no retirement benefit for you here. Mr. President, kindly veto kindly veto this. Good. Kindly veto this. We don't want anything like that.
Sure.
I mean, I know our guests will not be happy about this, but that's reality. Let it come up, let our money they want put there, let it spread to, I mean, the ordinary Liberians. Look, Dennise, if you enter communities, you see the way people are suffering. And I know the easiest defense is that the government cannot do everything for everybody.
Yeah.
Even rich countries have poor people. That is the defense that is normally provided. But can we do something about those who are down there? Can we enter their communities? Can we ensure that we have pipe-borne water in their communities? Can we ensure that we have stable electricity in their communities? Where the woman, even when she works, she get a retirement benefit. She can buy a little S bar and start doing a little cold water business, or start doing a little juice business. Carry it to one high school, and to at least get something for her children and her grandchildren. Can we do that?
Yeah. Why are lawmakers elected? They are elected to proffer good laws for the citizens, and that should entail good health care, quality education, proper sanitation environment in terms of health wise, and in terms of you talk about road connectivity, in terms of pipe-borne water, in terms of electricity, and creating an enabling environment for the citizens, where you have, they can have a good area, they can have investors coming in, and they can now start to look out for jobs. But you cannot have a country where the people lack all of these things, and you as a lawmaker that is charged to do these things, you are just after yourself. What should I get from that? What will I benefit from that? And that is saddening. And this is why things continue to be like this. Now you see everyone wants to go into the house. Everyone wants to be a lawmaker because they know that area is a lucrative area for better salary, and they can get salary and live a better life there in their family. They can go out of the country, they enjoy themselves, and they come back, and you have some going out of the country to get wedded, they get married in a country, and they enjoy themselves. They come back, and the Liberian people continue to suffer. You cannot live like that as lawmakers. Why? The people who put you there, you are servant to the people who elected you.
Exactly.
But no, you decide to. And Fidel, I tell you, I don't know whether the lawmakers, sometimes they complain that, the people giving us hard time everywhere we go. They want small thing from us. We enter, I listened to Senator Dillon last time saying, we enter the restaurant. Somebody will say, what you get for us? You enter this place, and some of them to do complain about that. And you go to their houses, you have people early in the morning, at their doorsteps because they back it in. Have they ever start to realize why are these people coming to us like this? They are coming because you are not representing them well. You are not doing the needful. You only seek your own benefit. You are not after what is for the people. That is why every morning when you wake up, you see huge number of people at your doorstep begging you. When their children are sick, they come to you. When their wives give birth, they come to you for baby top, for pampers, for diaper money. Because you are not doing what you should do. If you are doing that, if you are ensuring that they get the needful, they get what they need, their basic social services are taken care of. You don't have them coming to you to beg you and say, oh, you have to give me this. My child is not in school. I need this. It is because they are not better represented at the legislature. That's why you have all of these things. So it is saddening. It is bad for those who we consider as lawmakers to be proceeding in that way, and they coming up with some bill to give them pension benefit. What is a pension benefit? If you have a number of years, 10 years, you amass wealth for yourself, and now you want to pay yourself back to the Liberian people, hard-earned money that should develop them.
Okay, so that's it. And what is important to also be said is that this was a making of previous legislators. All right, it was, this law was actually inexistent. What they seek now is an amendment to the law. All right, so even at that, I mean, amendment to the law, I mean, the law is not even good. Let's scrap it off. So I mean, you're not elected, or maybe we need to set a bar. If you stay in the legislature for 24 years, then you get a pension benefit. It means you serve your country well. I mean, Dennise, look at it that way. You serve your county, your district for 24 years, then we can give you retirement benefit. But we can't just leave it open like that. When you serve 6 years, you know how many persons you will pay over a period of maybe 30, 40 years? You know how many persons? So let's set a bar. Maybe that could be included in the amendment. You should serve for 24 years. After 24 years, yeah, then we'll get you retirement. Maybe that one will be okay. But
I think that they should only have a health benefit. Perhaps you are sick.
Yeah.
As a former honorable person, you know, going to get, but not retirement benefit. That is totally out of order.
You see, so it's sad. You want to previously it was this case, Dennise. When you complete one term of your service, that is as a legislator, maybe you serve for even 6 years as a representative, you were entitled to 50% of you get 50% of what you are receiving. You get 50% of what you are receiving.
Okay.
But as it is now, they say even when you serve there for 1 month, you will get all your benefit. The one that they are amending now, when you serve there for even 1 month. For example, Victor Watson did not stay there long. So as it is, Victor Watson is entitled to retirement benefit. So you see that? So like I was saying, it shouldn't be across the board. There should be a standard set. So if you serve for 24 years, you're entitled to retirement benefit. But anything less than that, you on your own.
Even though we perhaps running out of time because we have our guests who will come in after our second segment. But Fidel, I will tell you that I don't welcome that at all.
At all. So it must scrap it off.
We have the lawmakers who are being paid hugely, Fidel. If you check what the lawmakers are making and compare that to other countries around, perhaps you compare that maybe to the United States or other country, but you don't have that. They have been paid hugely. And why would they be seeking a benefit again? I don't see anything about retirement benefit. For me, if you are working, get your retirement benefit for yourself. Invest. Do not see that as if I leave from power, I will get some of 50% or whatsoever thing as retirement benefit. I don't see that as working, and I don't see that as being realistic to the Liberian people. We have a society that our people are hungry, our people are suffering, and there's no need for these kind of laws to be endorsed by anyone who sees or who wants the well-being of Liberia.
Well, so they're making modification. They want the particular line item in the budget. First of all, the bill is seeking to repeal and amend the portion of Title 19 legislative out of Title 12 in the executive law of Liberia, and Title 17, the judicial law of 1972. And it was amended in 2003, Dennise.
Yeah.
And according to the Liberian Senate, the modification they want made, that the current line in the budget, the national budget, it must stay there as benefit and served officials, right? That it must remain in the budget, that the line item there in the budget. They want it to be there every year. It must be there every year. Yeah, that is the one. And all the benefits for the president, the vice president, the speaker, the chief justice, the pro tem, the deputy speaker, must be certain percentage of their salary, and it must be indicated instead of it being applied on the sum total of their salary and benefits. The thing, you know what, Dennise? As important as this is, we will delve into it deeply tomorrow, because I think this is important. We must speak to the president now so that this does not happen. The president must veto this bill. We can't allow this to happen. The small one that they getting all right, but they won't make it fine again to be in our favor. This is not okay. And I hope our guest will speak to this. Yeah. We hope he will speak to this. Let's take our break. When we come back, we take district number 1, Representative Grand Juda County, Era Madisi Guyon. Okay, he'll be our guest on the program this morning. Let's take our break and be right back.
I like it. I like it.
Bokonjida Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjida Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokonjida Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603, or better still 0886-622-559, or email us at bokonjida@gmail.com. Bokonjida Group of Companies. Nunde.
Wanna see all my people progress.
Gifty, where did you get the bricks you used to build your house? See how strong the bricks look.
I got them from Rovia Bricks. Do not tell me you have not heard about Rovia Bricks.
You mean they are located in Liberia?
Yes, Angie. Rovia Bricks is a division of Rovia Logistics Incorporated, and they offer a variety of concrete products for all your construction needs. They have 6, 7, 8, and 4 inches blocks. That's not all.
Tell me more.
Rovia Bricks have coverts for roads and well, cornerstones, Colombo blocks, yard tiles, sand, be it smooth, rough, and mixed. They even have red dye for land filling and crushed rocks of all sizes.
How can I get to them?
You can locate Rovia Bricks right at the corner of McDonough and Kerry Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fendel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randa Street. Call Rovia Bricks on 0777-874-231 or 0888-726-172. Email them on rovialib@gmail.com. Better still, WhatsApp them on 0777-874-231 or Facebook Rovia Logistics Incorporated.
I'm calling them right now for that man's swampy land. No time to waste.
My ticket is it.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, welcome back to the program this morning, the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And of course, we have in studio Honorable Errol Madisi Graham. He's District Number 1 representative in Grangida County, the southeastern part of Liberia. And he's our guest this morning. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Fidel. Pleasant morning to the family of ABC and our people in Radio Land.
Okay, how was it getting here?
Well, it wasn't really challenging, but you know, as a servant of the people, you have to avail yourself whenever there is a call.
Mm-hmm.
Most especially, I've been vacillating between here and some interior areas.
Okay.
Politically, because you know we are now into the season,
mm-hmm.
and many a time I've been told by my chief of our staff that this vibrant entity, the ABC FM 105.1. has been looking forward to, you know, receiving me,
mm-hmm.
but we've not been able to come. And so we thought to just jumpstart to come, whatever the case is, at least to showcase ourselves so that you know that we are all interconnected.
That's good. And it's good to also have you here this morning. How is District 1?
District 1 is doing fine.
And your interaction with the people so far, how has it been?
My interaction with my people has been very cordial, and they continue to improve on a daily basis because serving the people, irrespective of the distance from the district to where my office is in Monrovia, I need to be in touch with them at all times. And so this is why, even with the kind of terrible road condition, we have to take the risk many a time to ride a motorcycle to get to them because that could be the easiest way. And so because we are in touch with them daily, directly or indirectly, they feel kind of, accepted and not forgotten. And this is what they cherish most, because that's the way you get to know their problems and what the solution can be derived from, by collaborating with them.
So you came to leadership in the county, the representative seat, by the way, through a by-election in the county. What are the prevalent issues that your constituents are confronted with?
Quite frankly, Liberia as a whole, not just Grand Jida, is a shattered society as a result of the civil conflict. A lot has been broken down, and so let alone the livelihood of our people. And so there is a lot that needs to be done that they are confronted with, and bit by bit, though, like you rightly said, we came in through the by-election of 2021 November, but we tried making some strides as it relates to their well-being, how to get them off and back on their feet. Yeah. So there is a lot that needs to be done, but gradually we are getting there.
What are some of the lots that need to be done?
For instance, let's look at infrastructure. Grand Jida County is a piece of land that is so fertile that even were you to choose investing in the soil, you wouldn't need so much chemicals to grow your crops that you like to grow. But the setback there is that as a result of the war, the streets and farm to market roads or feeder roads have all become so dilapidated, they are not accessible anymore. And so the real farmers are there, and there's no way they can even trade, because when I was a kid coming up, most often we noticed our parents were sending us to school and taking care of us through farming. But today is not the case because there is no road, there is no means by which farmers could easily convey their products to the market for sale. So that too is a challenge. And you realize even in the city itself, the streets are not accessible, except for where we've started to do something on them as a leader of the people. The county, most especially the city, has been in darkness for so long since the war. Maybe there were 1 or 2 light bulbs, but at some point in time, everything went off and the city was completely dark. And so it was the first project we embarked upon right after our election, after induction. We didn't wait to take pay because once you are elected and you are in a kind of status in society, you become creditworthy and the rest of it, and then you have the facility to go for a range of loan, and that was how we started. Calculatively, there were about 96 street light poles in the heart of the city, at which time the city did not expand to where it is now. And so we chose, and out of our strength, from our lobbying power, we were able to procure about 62, LED lights, solar panel, but very much sophisticated, not solar panel rather, because Grand Jida is one community that is also subscribing to the provision of the power from the West Africa Power Pool through Cote d'Ivoire. And so we want for those sophisticated lights that can, go on with that kind of force. And so Zwedru got to be electrified. Thank God, right after our project, the president was able to step in to beef it up with some solar panel, because it's a pilot project. And you realize that since June of last year, the only referral hospital in the Southeast, which is the Martha Tubman Memorial Hospital in Zwedru, went out of electricity for months. And we were able to also procure a 160 kVA transformer from La Cote d'Ivoire because initially the one they had there was 50 kVA. And that 50 kVA gadget was supplying not just the hospital, but the hospital and surrounding communities. So I believe because of the workload, it got damaged. So from June up to September, that hospital was in darkness, and I know life became very much fatal because attention could not be given because a lot of medical activities require electricity. So in the absence of that, it was very much detrimental to our people's survival. So we chose to prioritize getting them such a gadget. And so what we did was, instead of 50, we thought to get 160 kVA. So that 50, by technical arrangement, will only be allotted for the hospital alone. And the balance 110 kVA can be spread, and that's what they did over the rest of the 6 or 7 communities. And so up to press time, you know that our city is being electrified gradually through our instrumentality. We also thought to, because on our platform, education comes to be the first, because a transformed mind will lead to hygiene and successful survival in any community.
Exactly.
And so we thought to participate within the cycle. And you see that this gone wax examination, you know, wax is a new phenomenon in Liberia. And so it became difficult, though our kids were making some passes, but they vehemently improved this one time because of our involvement. Involved in the sense that we took over the tutorial classes, which they ran every Saturday at a total cost of $25,000 Liberian a Saturday. And so we took over that and we were able to carry them through, drill them. In addition to that, we also arranged and were able to get some syllabus and textbooks from wax, you know, that will help to drill the kids and prepare them. And that brought good result. I think this year, the results are so high to the extent that we were even honored by the school system as well. So that's another aspect. And we
in terms of promises, you during the election period, there was some promise, I think, about a portion, if elected, of salary
50%
to the district. How I
Well, thank you very much. I thought the IT students would say we thought to operate in a descending order.
Okay.
But at some time to arrange the array, you can go in the ascending order. So let's gallop back to the question you asked. It's true during the campaign, you know, being a leader of the people, you should not come in with that mindset of enriching yourself. See yourself as a lawmaker, as an errand boy of your people, as one who thinks day and night, calculating and finding means out how to get to your people and revive their status. So we thought that this time, going into the race, what is it we are taking to the table? Are we just going to the table because people feel that election time you can try luck? No, for us, we didn't come to election as a way of trying luck, because we come from the background of advocacy. The records are there. And so an advocate, a staunch one, is the one that will always feel his people's plight and dream and calculate day and night, seeking a way out to solve their problems. And so we thought a while that, look, going into this race, what are we carrying to our people? I think it's good that whatever we're going to make, we share with our people. So we thought it wise to split our salary 50%. And not just making it a vague promise, but also going to Temple of Justice, making sure that this commitment is legalized, giving our constituents the legal authority that should we fall short, they have the right to take us to authority or to law, so that we prove to them why we fell short, or so that what needed to be done can be done. And so the commitment was legalized, notarized as well, and given to them. Now, first of its kind, since we are going to give them our money, we need to keep track of the usage, how they spend it. So in the history of the county, this is the first time that a lawmaker will set up a district development council. So it is a district development council, a formation that considers a cross-section of the society. They now will be responsible to carry out developmental activities. And so they have access to this account, which we do not have access to. Our concern is to just deposit the money. But again, our people, there's a common Liberian adage that says, seeing is believing. So we thought not to just deposit money, but to, sum it up quarterly, either by 3 months or 4 months, go down to the county, call a town hall meeting at the city hall, and check every dollar, whether Liberian dollar or American dollar, piece by piece, in public, and turn it over to them. And that was how we concluded the first year, and that this being the second year, we've just gone 3 months by the end of this March, and by the end of April, we should be able to carry the first quarter of this year. So it is from this 50% that the District Development Council, on the basis of the people's needs, can derive which project to undertake.
How much are we talking about?
Frankly, I don't know. It was a problem saying it, but I didn't care, because accountability and transparency is what is actually required of the lawmaker too.
Okay.
So we're able to make clear to our people, though when we're making the commitment, we didn't know how much we're going to make per month. But when we got to Capitol Building, we realized that as a representative, I should be receiving 5,000 United States dollars and 199,000 Liberian dollars per month. Now, the irony there is that the two types of money have carried two different captions: salary and salary and how do you call it? Allowance. Thank you, an allowance. But then, if you look at it, you will see that the portion that bears the title salary is a Liberian dollar component, and the allowance is a US dollars component. But then, weighing the two, the Liberian dollar component is by far less than the US dollars. So we say, hey, whatever the case may be, it is at the end of the month that we are getting these monies. So let's combine them and see them as salary, and split them 50%. So when you split the 5,000 US dollars, it means you are giving back 2,500 US dollars per month. If you split the 199,000 Liberian dollars, you'll be giving back 99,500 Liberian dollars a month. So by calculation, from January to December, you will know exactly how much we have given back to the county. So that is the amount that we refer to as our salary.
Okay.
So it is from these monies that we continue to do whatever we are doing. Right now in the county, you realize that apart from the contribution to education, the infrastructure, it goes on also to rehabilitating the streets in the city. And you realize that it's been difficult and slow, but we are very grateful to companies in the southeast or in the region. One of them agreed to assist us by arrangement so that we use their machines to refurbish the streets of Zwedru, and the process is ongoing as we speak. We also decided agriculture is very important, but since the time is short and we'd like to touch every pillar of our platform, we started with empowerment in the agricultural sector. The first group we've empowered has to do with a traditional group of women called the Goy Anura. And how little it may be, the fact that we made effort, it ignites our zest to do more when we shall become seated properly.
How little is this little?
Little is around an amount of 75,000 Liberian dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. And then infrastructurally, the market has got a problem. The construction work was carried on by GAA, which is the German Agro. But then the population could not be contained by the structure, so they decided to expand the structure. And we had to chip in because they were stranded. They needed like 50 bundles of zinc and all accessories that could go about and that should go along with it. And we were able to provide that also to the marketeers. Beyond that, while we were in exile as refugees, we thought to balance the geopolitical pendulum in Liberia, because if you look at the presidency of Liberia, it dangles between two sectors. Sector one has to do with the American-Liberian sector, and sector two, the so-called indigenous. So you will realize that the first president was Joseph Jingi Rawat, and we continue to say this time without number because it's important saying it. And so when I was a child coming up and going to school, even at the university, there was this arrangement, the Joseph Jingi Rawat Foundation. So we thought too to balance it from our end by establishing the Samuel Kanyando Educational Foundation This is something we started in Ghana, we came home with. And so when we got here, we decided to put it in full swing, but it was so small at that level. So what we chose to do, now that we are seated, we thought to jumpstart it before we reach the point to lobby. So at the Grand Judea County University College now, as it is called, because it's being elevated, we've got like 27 students. Each of them is $75 semester. So this is our second semester with them. And at the grade school, we've got like some 19 students in the city of Zwedru, in various schools. And then in Monrovia, we just got like 2 students at the University of Liberia, a student at AMEU, and then 1 student at the Tottenham University, who is now a senior student, Socrates Wa. We pray that he'll be completing this semester to graduate. And so in education, that's how far we've gone to touching on it.
How challenging are you through?
Yeah.
Okay. How challenging are all these initiatives from your personal purse instead of the national envelope? I mean, how have you been able to do these things?
Like I said initially, beginning the electrification project, which I consider to be a pilot project, I acquired a loan so as to jumpstart it, and it's ongoing. Now that it is on, because what I believe in too is the fact that I like to demonstrate what I want to see people helping me do.
Okay.
So that they have the courage and understand that we mean business. And so now that I've started the process, I'm lobbying to see how it can go on, because I will not continue taking loan. Beyond that, it's difficult being a lawmaker. It's not everybody in Liberia now that will say, hey, please help me. It's actually a beggar. But condition has forced our people into such a situation. So you will see that the lawmaker most often go home empty. Because if you are a real lawmaker, you represent your people, because representation is one of the 3 cardinal functions. And in that representation, we see a word, benevolence. And there are 2 ways you can be benevolent. 1, you can be tangible, and 2, intangible. So the tangibles are what the 50% is giving them. The intangibles that make very challenging for us has to do with where you can see a citizen, not particularly Grandidian, stranded and need help. Then you say, no, I'm giving my 50%. You have to participate in doing what you can do to give them whatever assistance they need. And the request list goes on and on.
Now, this appears to mean too good to come from a lawmaker in Liberia. And maybe it may be considered as a bit for you, Honorable Guillaume, to solidify your position in your re-election quest in October of this year. Is that what you were reading? Is just the makeup of Honorable Guillaume?
Well, journalists are good researchers, and I'm sure when you to retrospect a bit into my biography or my autobiography, as you may wish to call it, you realize I've been in the field of advocacy for long.
Okay.
And this is where you fight for your people. And in such a case, you spend whether your sweat, your blood, your resources, whatever you can afford to spend to give them the result they deserve. And so it's not about using this as a bait on the hook to bring a kuta home from the river. It's not the case.
Okay.
It's about telling past lawmakers what you ought to have done for your people. It's about challenging those who may want to come on board to get prepared to follow your footsteps. When you are setting in, count on a time to come that you become a predecessor to a successor. So wherever you leave behind, it's a challenge to the successor.
Okay.
And when that successor is a good thinker and we want to not, leave the direct path or the trajectory, he must walk in your footprints. And by that, the society improves.
Okay.
So let us not see it as a bait on the hook to bring me re-election. Re-election, quite frankly, with me, I can tell you freely, it's already set. I don't need to do anything. You don't need to go to Pluto to investigate as to whether this result that I'm giving you before time is false or is true. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you.
Okay, let's leave the district a bit and go to your office where you work. There's this bill that has been condemned by a lot of Liberians, and we are just speaking about a few minutes ago. and that is the pension bill. Where do you stand on this?
Actually, the pension bill is something that I did not participate in. Because to participate in something, you must understand it from the nook and cranny.
Okay.
Then you know what you stand for. And there at the Capitol building, real decision making is on the basis of majority rule.
Exactly.
But whether or not the majority will take it, in as much as you stand for what you stand for, it's okay.
So in essence, you do not support it?
No.
Not at all. And what could be the basis for your, rejection of it, even though you said you do not understand the nook and cranny, but it's important that I guess you've heard, if you've not read, you've heard what is the real content of this bill. On what basis are you rejecting? Is it on the basis of you not having knowledge, or just because of the content of the bill?
Well, it may not only be because I don't have knowledge. I'm not saying that I don't have knowledge. But
Okay.
I'm saying it's not clear to the Liberian people.
Okay.
The first place, if you look around, you realize that you've got thousands of people who've been pensioned already. Have they gotten their benefits? And if they have not gotten the benefits, what's the cost?
Mhm.
You know, if you want to say you are counting, you will not start from 10, except otherwise organized in a ring.
Mhm.
You must start from 0, 1, 2, 3 before you reach to 10. So you have a problem before you that you have not settled, and you want to bring about another, community or another sector of the situation. Now, what will it look like? You are responsible to pass law, and you did not give attention to your people who sent you there, but you are coming in with a space that will swallow you, and definitely you're going to make sure that it works. You understand my fear?
Mhm.
So before we can discuss our interests, let's settle the interests of the people. That's why I stand.
Okay. Now, census results, preliminary results are out, and there have been contestation. First of all, are you still with the Liberia Restoration Party?
Indeed, I am.
Okay, so you're a member of the opposition community.
Sure.
Some of your friends from opposition are contesting the results of the census. Do you share their opinion and views on what the results are like? For example, the census report says there are more men than women, which they believe is actually unheard of, considering our social build up in our country and what we've known for the past time. Do you agree with the opposition community?
Whether or not I agree with them, we need to investigate. In fact, I was on the committee that received their petition
Okay.
that the result should not be honored. And so now that the petition is before plenary, what we need to do is not to dig inside until plenary can come up with a position. Therefrom, I, as an individual lawmaker, will make a position.
Okay, so then let's get to the constitutional implications of what we have at hand right now. There's still contestation that the biometric voter registration exercise should not be going on now without the legislature setting a threshold and doing demarcation. Do you agree with that?
Do we have the finance? Certain threshold means you are giving birth to new districts.
Exactly.
You understand?
Mhm.
So all of these must be put in place before you can decide on that.
Out of what should be put in place?
Whatever is required, the resources that will be required. You
Mhm.
cannot set threshold, develop or create or establish new districts before you start looking for money.
Is that an indication that there was no violation in that a threshold was not set and registration is still ongoing?
In my view, I don't see it to be a violation.
Okay. So the legis has not submitted the census report to the legislature as yet. Am I right?
Come again?
Legis has not submitted the census report to the legislature as yet.
Yeah, what we expect will be the final result.
The final
In
result.
as much as it's not been finalized, there's no report yet.
Okay. So we should be used as the basis for setting the threshold.
Exactly.
So, but the Constitution does not provide that the basis for setting a threshold should be whether or not you have money.
We are only looking at it from that side.
Mhm.
But another major factor is the fact that it has not been delivered onto us
Mhm.
and decisions have not been reached. Because for a district to be developed or established, it must be legislated.
Mhm.
Now, like I said, the result is not final. It's the final piece that should come to us
Mhm.
upon which we will decide. So in the absence of that, should we just hold on waiting? until the final work can be done, when constitutionally election should be carried out. So what is important is to do what you have now. Then in the future, when you are prepared, you go for the new job.
And you don't see that as a violation?
I don't see it as a violation.
And still, biometric voter registration is ongoing. On what basis is this process being carried on?
If you ask me on what basis, the question is...
Okay, so, the Constitution provides that a threshold should be set by the legislature based on the census results.
Yeah.
Okay, that has not been done. A biometric registration process is ongoing, which clearly means that Clark, for example, can register in your district, District 1. What happens if demarcation is done in District 1 and there's a split in where Clark registered? What happens to Clark? Does it mean he's disenfranchised or what? Don't you see it as a breeding crisis if that was done in the future? Or couldn't that be interpreted as us abandoning the setting up a threshold and just going to elections, even though...
Let us not preempt a situation here, because if we should retrospect a bit, I remember I came here in 2008 and participated the first time testing the waters in 2011. Campaign went on, and areas that were considered little on the threshold came and detached those portions. You understand? Whatever the case may be, I don't want to see it that it was right or it was wrong. Let's leave it hanging. And let us not preempt the situation, like I said. Leave it as it is. When we get there, we'll understand why.
And you see that as a good governance practice?
It's not about grading it, whether it's good or bad. Liberia is a fragile society. A lot of things happen. And
even including the violation of the Constitution.
In this case, no, let us not specifically say violation of Constitution. Leave violation out of this thing here. As a student of management, there is a time you apply managerial tactics. You understand what I'm saying? And so managerial decision making is such that when the situational approach can lead you through.
Okay, it's Representative Errol Madisi Grion is the representative of District 1 in Grand Jida County. Dennise.
Yeah, so I like to go a bit to the county, and I like to know, as it relates to the status of that NEC official that got missing, Alfred Dunner. How is that investigation process? What has been the involvement since then of the officials of the county, like you, a representative?
You know, the issue of Alfred Dunner is very much unforgettable. Sectorially, we had a role to play initially as an advocate and a representative of the people. And what we needed to do was to make sure that government gave the issue an attention. And now that it was done and the case is before the government, the legal aspect of it is being conducted. Yes, out of anxiety, Madison will want to get his result right now. But legality is slow but sure. All we expect is to get the result that will be pleasing to us, because you cannot see anything outside of the truth and bring it to the table. So we trust the legal system that they're doing their best, that at the end of the day, we will get the right result.
So with this, we trust the legal system and, awaiting result in terms of this, and with the current situation that has to do with the former Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice daughter, the incident and other incidents that occur in terms of justice and in terms of the security sector investigation like Bureau. What do you make of that?
These things will happen in society. What should be a problem is the failure of any government to address them appropriately. But in as much as these things happen and government has gotten involved, we look forward to hearing from the government.
There's not been redress as it relates to people seeking justice, or perhaps a proper report as it relates to the disappearance or mysterious death of their family member. You in Liberia, you have seen the public outcry.
Yeah, but we cannot play the role of the government. Like I said initially, our concern was to make sure that the government gets involved. So when government is now involved and say, hey, we are taking over the case and we're going to adjudicate the situation and get back to you, we look forward to hearing from them.
How do you look at the state of security in the country?
Well, it's becoming fragile time without number. We have experienced a lot of things, and government needs to double up, and tighten her belt security-wise, because the responsibility of the government is not just to protect property, but to protect lives as well. And when you have lives, then property will come. So the best the government needs to do is to tighten her belts on security in the state.
Okay, now again, I like to delve into controversies, and you from the opposition community, there've been this call for an opposition collaboration. First of all, you from the southeast, and it is believed that there is where the ruling party has her strength. Are you in any way contemplating and supporting the ruling establishment in October of this year? You are a representative, you have a stake, and you have mammoth support, and obviously there will be cause for your support. Which side are you leaning, as it is normally said?
And just to add to that, he has been a supporter of the CDC, right? And as during the election, there was this split, and you went over to the other party. So will it be like you are coming back home?
Well, I have a party, and I'm still with my party, the Liberian Restoration Party. And of course, any party, political party or individual, because it's a conglomeration of people that will give birth to a party. So like you've seen in recent days, a lot of them cross over to form part of the coalition, which is now being termed, if I should be right, as the Grand Coalition. The Liberian Restoration Party was never heard crossing over. And so we remain a party by ourselves and stand for the election of October 10, 2023 as a political party.
What lenses are you using now to grade our current governance structure and the way the current administration is proceeding with the leadership of the country? What lenses is the Liberia Restoration Party using? What are your reading of things, so to speak?
I'm not prepared to speak to that now, because speaking this morning, I'm representing my party. Even if I should have my individual view, I like to speak holistically. Yeah.
So don't you have meetings, regular meetings, to discuss the state of affairs of the country, and which should give you an appreciable knowledge of what it is right here?
Even when meetings are held regularly or irregularly, speaking to journalists, you have time to speak to certain things.
Okay.
You don't just speak across the board.
So you as partisan, former partisan, maybe I may term that.
Yeah, former partisan.
Yeah, of the CDC, driven from which your election was shown in District 1, Branch County. How do you see the second term date of President George Weah?
President Weah is the president of this nation. And I, speaking in my capacity as an opposition, I can assure you that my presidential candidate is going to win this election.
I don't even know your presidential candidate's name.
And so that's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
I see the lawmaker has been very careful with his choice of words. That's smart of you. But let's look at the workings of the opposition. There've been this split. At one point in time, there were 4 or 5 parties. At another point in time, they are now 2, and some people say 1.5 in the CPP. What are the chances of an opposition victory, even including your political leader?
Well, my party is operating unilaterally. We did not form a part of any coalition.
That we know.
And so those who are conglomerating and then splitting themselves, they got their own reasons to deal with. For us, we see it as an opportunity that we can penetrate as a wedge and win the election.
Win the election?
Yeah. So we expect them to continue splitting themselves.
What's the name of your political leader?
My political leader is Alan Brown.
Alan Brown. Yeah. Do you know him, Dennise?
You'll get to know him.
Okay. Okay. But
And I think that was just
convention.
Being very much cognizant. In democracy, we would differ with one another because the body politic therein is that people must disagree to agree.
Exactly.
So that the finest will come out. But that does not mean when you are in opposition, you cannot admit to the positivity of the leading party or the ruling establishment. The legislative agenda of President Weah, I stand for that. 90%. Simply because
what is that?
The legislative agenda of President Weah.
Yeah.
Being engaged with lawmakers,
exactly.
Being able to make bills and his instruments passed through easily.
You're speaking for the man.
But you know, the problem is that once you understand, we don't need to waste time. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well,
So
you need to know what he stands for.
it's clear. You say?
We're listening.
I said it's clear.
It's clear.
Yeah.
What does he stand for?
President Weah?
Yeah.
He's giving direct attention to the infrastructure.
Okay.
And like I just started with Grand Jide, the lack of roads or streets, hospitals, and schools will break or crumble the society. So when a leader is moving in that direction, for me, for example, this is where I gave him credit.
And so why do you want to change him now?
Why do I want to change him?
Yeah, why do you want?
Because it's possible that the rest of the 3 items he cannot touch.
So has he touched them?
He has not touched them yet.
And what are those?
But he has got from now to like October.
So can
and
we?
Why you stand for that?
Why I stand for that? I stand for the achievements he has made.
Okay. Are those achievements enough for his re-election?
That's why we are standing. From now to October, we will know whether President Weah has concluded the agenda.
Do you think it is achievable?
Whether it's achievable or not, it is his muscles and strength that can determine that to him. Then he will tell us.
Okay.
Yes,
let's go to the lines and engage the public's opinion on Honorable Graham's deliberations here today. He's District Number 1 Representative, Grand Jide County, Honorable Aaron Madison Guion. He's our guest this morning, and it has been, his interaction, it's actually worth it. Good morning. Good morning. I think I missed the line. Let me get this straight. Sorry. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing great. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is something both. I call from Kelako communities, what you say, Grand Jide County.
Let's hear you, my brother.
Let me say good morning to a great man in studio representing Aaron Madison Guion Senior. A deliberation this morning speaks volume that the people of Grand Jide County have already resolved. Guion is the only Grand Jideans ever in the history of Grand Jide County that being elected that gave 30,000 from January up to December as a 50% contribution and 1,099,500. And today we can see the good work that the District Development Council is doing with that money. And what we can say to Guion, whosoever that want to contest in Grand Jide against Guion, you just have to go to the ACA and change your name to Guion so that you can probably convince the citizens. Anything other than that is on your own. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Let's take another person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
This is Washington Komla Bowo, and I call you from Monrovia.
Let's hear you, Washington.
So let me say good morning to the Honorable Lawmaker. I want to say kudos for your decent deliberation this morning. I want to say thank you for all of the initiatives, and thank you for the sacrifice you are making for the people of Grand Jide County. The future is bright, and let's keep praying that you reap what you are sowing today. So the issue, Fidel. So, you asked a specific question to the Honorable Man as to whether you will support President Weah's agenda. Coming from the background as a supporter of the Honorable Man, I want to tell you vividly clear that the people of Grand Jide County are saying they have lost trust and confidence and repose in the president. The matter of fact, the president cannot, lay up to while we consistently supported him, he decided to turn his back to us and giving development to those that rejected him. We didn't vote a lot. So we are Grand Jide, we are very down out there. Very disappointed. As for the reason, we are standing tall in this election to campaign against President Weah, and we'll make sure he's not re-elected. Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope when Honorable Green go the other way, you might not follow him because it's that will happen. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. Honorable Madison Guion is our guest this morning. Before we go back to the lines, Honorable Guion, what do you make of others who believe that the legislature is taking too much from the Liberian people?
Well, that statement sounds so ambiguous. And they need to be very clear. Taking too much of what?
You give too much to yourself in the budget. They believe so. What do you think? You think it's small?
Small what now?
Your salaries and benefits?
Oh, my salary is okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. And
it's not too much.
It's not too much.
The benefits.
And that is why I'm even splitting and giving back to them still. So I don't think if the people, the Liberian people, have problem with the amount that they are paying their people or paying the lawmakers, I don't think they will have problem with me.
So after your re-election in 2023, you will continue on the same path?
Every life or every life cycle has got so many ways. Right? Today, depending on the climate, you decide what to do. And some people are now experiencing climate change. When you expect rain to fall, then sun burning you. When you expect sun, then rain falling. So situational approach, like I told you earlier, is necessary in our case. What we've done was just done at the district level. Rest assured that now that we are going to get our 6th year, which is so long a time, in fact, we have got bigger picture that will cover the entire county. Because my district is the capital city of the county.
Exactly.
So whatever good I do there, will take effect in other districts. So I'm going to spread myself throughout the county, though a District 1 representative.
How united is the Grand Judah Legislative Caucus?
Well, we are trying to be united.
Why were you not united?
I made it like that, and we are trying to put the pieces together. And in mediation, it takes time.
What has been the problem?
The problem is an age-old problem. And so to get it resolved, you got to dig to the fabric. So that is what I'm doing because, I've just spent like a year.
What is this HO problem?
They got their own issues.
Have they revealed those issues to you?
They have not yet revealed them to me.
And how do you
That's
intend to mediate?
Mediation is like befriending everybody.
And have you not befriended everybody?
I have started already.
And how long
but
does
it's not
it take?
going to be automated. It's a gradual process.
So you talk about the president giving up some efforts that he made in the county in terms of the
Not county. When I say president, I'm referring to the entire country.
Which one?
I'm
talking about the lighting
okay.
initiative that he said he carried on. That he also erected
solar lights.
Yeah.
And now there's this caller who called and said that the president has failed Grand Judah County in terms of promises made. So I'd like you to speak to that.
What I thought you would have done was to call the caller to a point and ask him in what direction did the president fail you.
You are also the lawmaker.
So. I'm a lawmaker and I recognize the president's effort. The law impenetrability will tell you that it's difficult for two things to sit at the same place at the same time. So even if the president came and beefed up my strength by electrifying the city, I'm sure he would do more.
Okay.
And that's why he needs re-election.
And that's why I'm saying he still got time from now to October.
Okay.
077-105-100, 055-105-100. Let's hear you on the Morning Breeze as you make your input on the program.
Oh yes, the lines are still open. Let's take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
My name is Mohammed Ali. I'm calling from District 17. Honorable, let me say thank you to your fellow guest. He explained himself properly. But in life, whenever somebody is more than you, know that the person is more than you. The only thing you should fight to be re-elected. Don't fight to castigate another person when the person is doing the work for the Liberian people.
Are you following the show?
I'm following the show properly.
Who has he castigated?
Who
has he castigated?
He is castigating the people chose having to be the Liberian president.
No, you're not following them.
I'm following the show well, bro.
Okay, so maybe castigating is too strong a word. and I don't think he has even done anything of that sort. But let's go back 077-105-100 555-105-100. I'm spying it. Damn, scale of Dennise. All right. So, Honorable Graham, you seem to have a nature of connecting to people. It seems to me that you have plans of in the future being a senator. Is that what you're opting for?
To be exact, being a senator is not a bad thing. And in life, people will love to grow. So even leaving the representative level and going to the senatorial seat is a growth. It's an achievement. And what will take you there is on the basis of what you've done at the first level the people have entrusted you with.
Exactly.
So when the time comes and I am to be a senator, I'll go for it.
Who are your major contenders in District 1?
I'm yet to see a contender.
Who are those contesting against you?
I'm still looking. I'm still looking.
Are you going to wear ballot?
I will be very glad because it's a fun piece of history to set.
Okay. I've seen several names that are popping up in District 1.
Yeah.
And you seem to be confident that you are the people's choice. What gave you that confidence?
I'm confident because of my own strength. I'm confident because we've come to break the political history in the district. I'm confident because we have set a stage of challenge, which of course nobody we can see coming after us will be able to take. Yeah.
Okay. So if you were given an invite to join the CPP as one of those constituent parties, what would be your response?
Well, this is something I don't need to filibuster. But let me be very clear. I come from a party, like you said, and the party has got an executive committee. These issues are discussed and a decision is taken. Then we go to the public.
You are an executive committee member of your party. Am I right?
Sure.
So what will you tilt if that invitation ever came?
Let me not speak before the hour.
Okay.
We are yet to receive such an invite.
So your interest into the 2023 process is to gain, right? Is to win. So do you want to support a process that you do not get at any point where you will win?
But then we're getting confused.
Meaning that there should be collaboration, there's collaboration and alliance in terms of party to have state power.
Well, it's not compulsory. Once you have the muscles politically, you want to stand alone, you stand alone. And when the need arises to collaborate, then you go for that. But we are yet to see the need for collaboration.
If you are seeking the development of Liberia and you see other parties who have similar vision, why not align with them to have that achieved?
I hope to see those parties.
Meaning there's no party that...
I'm still looking. It's possible they are there, but I need to use my microscopic sight to see them.
Okay. So meaning retaining the present government is the order of the day, since you haven't seen any party that hope to achieve that.
If that were the order of the day, then I don't think I should put up a presidential aspirant.
Okay, let's take more calls. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Lincoln. Lincoln, and I call from District 8, Motorado.
So
let me just commend the honorable articulate very well. And as a matter of fact, that country is my late mother country. She's from Patton District, to be precise, put up back in. So I hold that to high esteem to my heart. That is my mother's country. So I mean, when we have people like Mr. William Institute representing our country, people in our video mean to listen religiously. Having said that, honorable, I mean, there is something unfolding at the legislature which is unprecedented, and I see it as a disservice to the Liberian people. If you you guys tell of bill, or that you people will have a benefit across all the legislature. Now, taking into consideration the prevailing situation in our country, especially those who are career-oriented, you go pass the minimum wage bill at the legislature, what skill may be taking $6.50 per day, and then on skill may see that $3.50. Don't you think it was possible that you guys revisit that minimum wage bill in order to increase the minimum wage to maybe $15 a day because our people are suffering. We work with Lebanese from all the way to 630. They are not benefiting. So what can you say about that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. You've spoken to that. Maybe he will just do it for others' sake. Go ahead.
Well, to give you a synopsis of what I said earlier, I didn't go for supporting such a bill simply because we've got a lot of issues, similar issues on the ground that needed our attention. There are a lot of people, thousands of our relatives, whatever county they come from, we are interrelated. And they all sent us to Capitol Building to represent them. And so their interest should supersede that of the lawmakers. When we have a lot of them around being pensioned, no benefit, being retired, whether properly or improperly, these are things we should give it before we decide any other thing. So this is where I stand. I'm not in support of it in that form, neither in that manner. Thank you.
Okay. Let's squeeze this person in. Good morning.
Good morning, Fidel.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning to Saydee Dennise.
Good morning.
Good morning to the honorable man in studio. My question to you. Since you were elected in that part of Liberia as a representative, what part of the oversight play when it comes to the issue of rules, health care, the issue of schools for the people in that part of Liberia? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Clear question.
My oversight indeed as a lawmaker, even though I represent District 1, Grand Jida County, but I represent Liberia. And so when government has got an agenda so huge and bucket, they've got their own arrangement and timing to go about the agenda. So the fact that they did not begin with the Southeast, maybe to begin with Grand Jida or to begin with Sino, wherever the case may be, they've got their reasons. And our oversight can only allow us to make a way to find out why. But it does not directly fall under me to say it should be part of my protocol that we dictate to government. We can only persuade government to do what we want them to do. And our persuasion is ongoing.
Okay, go ahead then.
Besides that, there is strength in unity. And so individually speaking will not help us. So that is why we thought it wise to reincarnate the Southeastern Legislative Caucus so that we push one agenda. So today, the Southeastern Legislative Caucus has begun meeting tremendously, making sure that our voices will be heard in one.
The time you're coming more from another, the time you're uniting.
Well, it's good to start something. It's better late than never.
So the voter registration exercise is ongoing. What do you make of the process?
Well, it just started, I think, yesterday. And I have to take up time to observe it myself. I have not gone around because my county will be starting by the 21st. So when they are burying a hunchback man,
there has been speculation that there's no awareness being conducted.
Speculation?
Yeah.
You believe that too?
There have been public outcry from the Liberian people in terms of awareness.
That's what I'm asking you, the journalist.
Yeah, we have reporters who have, toured the various centers and they have been complaining about that. Due to that, the people don't know how to go about.
Well, that's why I said I need to observe it myself.
Meaning you have not been following the country.
Following the country is different from going on the scene. You could not have sat here and get the information from the field.
Constituent.
I have constituents, but my constituents are in Grand Jida.
So what have they are concerned?
They have not started with them. They'll be starting from the 21st.
Sure. But in terms of
so
the awareness.
I know, that's why I was just giving you a scenario. There's a hunchback man, when they are burying a hunchback man, go and see so that you know how they bury you tomorrow. So I need to take up time and go on the field too to see how it is done.
Will you wait for them to start the process?
Wait for who? Grand Jida County process? I'm not going to wait. They have just started with Monserrato yesterday. I need to make time go on the field from point to point to know exactly how it's conducted and what the problems are, what the prospects are, so that we'll be able to advise and exercise our oversight, like the brother was just saying. That's part of our oversight.
Okay, Honorable Gwen, it was great having you here. And frankly, the interaction was worth it. And I think there's something about you that pulls some kind of magnet out. And I hope you continue that way so that the people of your district can again afford you the 6 years that is so required to do exactly what you've started. Again, it was a pleasure having you finally. What do you say to your people?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to the ABC family for this opportunity. For so long, the invitation has been there, and that's why I just thought to force it through. To our people, they need to understand. Maybe I shouldn't say this on the radio, but I think it's an open secret. The issue of double registration is not going to help anybody. It's possible you do double registration, and where you want to be accepted, they may cancel you from there. If not, delete you from the system altogether. So it's good you decide where you want to register and do one registration instead of doubling it.
Okay.
We pray that the security system will be up to task and our people will cooperate so that we'll go to the elections free and fairly, and then we have a new system to live by. Thank you. I hope to come again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my former high school teacher.
Oh, okay, great. I see. There's a connection here. All right. Okay. So we go home this morning on the Morning Breeze. We return tomorrow bright and early to serve the Liberian people. That's the job we are committed to. Dennise?
Sure, Fidel.
Okay. Do have yourselves a wonderful day. Remain blessed. Remember, Liberia is our common denominator, and we must do all within our powers to make her peaceful. Do have yourselves a great day.
I like it.